broke the poor P. It didn't want any. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, consider subscribing if you want to follow along with more stuff like this and vehicle upgrades and other things we do. But today, in today's video, I'm going to show you what can happen when you come across a power line in the road at night. And unfortunately, it's not very good. So here is the wife's 2020 Jeep Grand Cherokee, altitude I think, if that really matters, which it doesn't. And if you've watched the little intro video, and I'll put it in here again, she came across a falling power line the other night on the way home after a storm, wind, and everything came through. Everything had settled down and gone back to normal, and the thing fell right in front of her. I think a tree must have fallen on the line across the road somewhere, and it pulled the lines down. And of course, she happened to be at the perfectly right place at the wrong time. And it snatched the hood, bent the thing all up, broke the poor P. It didn't want any. Broke that, jammed all of this up, creased the hood. It bent the hood pretty bad on this side, buckled and cracked the paint. It's got a pretty good buckle in the whole side of the hood. And then the thing flipped underneath the car. I thought to start with that it must have gone up over the car and might have scratched the windshield or the roof, the mirrors, something down the side, but it didn't. It actually put the tension on it, and you can see the scrape marks. I think you can see the scrape marks down the headlight and then across the front bumper cover here, and then right down the bumper, scraped up the front here, and then it flipped and went underneath the car and she ran it over. So thankfully nobody was hurt. I think, you know, waiting on the insurance adjuster and all that, and all the paperwork and everything to be officially approved, and we're gonna try to do some upgrades to it while it's in the shop and getting fixed. And so stick around if you want to see what ends up happening with the hood and the front. I think for the most part everything else is in pretty good shape, so hopefully it's not a big issue. I did want to mention that we've got a dash cam in this car, so it picks up, and I'll leave a link to this in the description below if you're interested in something like this, but it picks up the front, inside the vehicle, and also out the back glass of this Jeep, and does a really good job. It records in 4K, and then depending on how many channels you have, it'll go to 2K, I think. But that's where the dash cam video came from, and it did an excellent job to pick it up, especially at nighttime. I was kind of surprised that it did such a good job. But to start with, they were going to file this under collision, and it was going to be our fault. We were going to have to take care of all of it. But thanks to this dash cam, because no one else was around, we were able to give them the video footage of it and prove that it wasn't our fault. It was just an act of nature, and they moved it under comprehensive. And so hopefully that won't create an issue for us on the insurance and a strike against us. But yeah, that's it. Just a quick video to show you this just freak accident out of nowhere. Just scared them to death, but thankfully, again, like I said, no one was hurt, no big injuries or anything. Car suffered worse, but I'm surprised it hung in there as good as it did. Thankfully, it doesn't seem to have messed up anything else. So we'll get it fixed up and back on the road, and hopefully we're going to do a few little upgrades while it's in the shop and come back looking better than ever. But again, if you like this kind of content or want to follow along, there's a son's truck in the background we're working on and doing some upgrades to it. We do car videos, travel videos, all kinds of different stuff. If you want to follow along, consider subscribing. If you got any comments about the Jeep or what we've got planned for it, leave them down below. I appreciate you watching. Thanks. Have a good one.